and welcome everyone to Sherkhan Education. My name is Behzad, and today I'm going to take up an interesting topic that a lot of students are actually a little bit worried about. They're a little bit in this problem-solving mode or always in this question mark mode as to when they are supposed to opt for a momentum setup or when they are supposed to wait for a retracement setup. So in this video, I shall try and make some things a little bit easier for those students who are always in this confusion. They are not in a proper mode to pick up their scans properly, some of the skips properly, or the most important thing जो मुझे ऐसा लगता है that they are not in a position to identify a particular script when they should go for a momentum setup or a retracement setup. So let's understand this and let us exactly see as to how they are supposed to look out for some things. And I'm going to explain some concepts point wise so that it's easy for the students while they are scanning certain scripts. उनको क्या क्या देखना चाहिए स्क्रिप्ट के ऊपर। हालांकि चीजें बहुत इजीली हम कोर्स स्ट्रेटेजी क्लासेस में या कोर्स स्ट्रेटेजी सेट्स में एक्सप्लेन करते हैं, बट फिर भी let me explain and let me drive you on to some concepts as to how you're supposed to pick up certain scripts. So for the first time, I'm going to pick up a very easy example, and this is one important thing that what are we supposed to look at for a momentum setup, and that is first thing. Let's take up this simple example of Ashok Leland. Okay, so this is my script of Ashok Leland present over here. एंड जितना हो सके उतना ब्रॉडर टाइम फ्रेम्स पे एनालिसिस आप करोगे. सो पॉइंट नंबर वन इज व्हेन आर वी सपोज्ड टू लुक एट फॉर अ मोमेंटम सेटअप एंड व्हाट आर द क्राइटेरियाज टू बी दैट वी आर सपोज्ड टू लुक आउट फॉर अ मोमेंटम सेटअप. आई ऑलवेज वुड लाइक टू स्टार्ट यू from the broader time frames, from a higher time frames. So let's say, for an example, I am picking up Ashok Leland, and if I do a multiple time frame analysis, this is my monthly chart. I don't have a problem on the monthly chart. This is approximately lifetime high. If I look at it from the weekly angle, the week is live right now, so मैं इस कैंडल को कंसिडर नहीं करूंगा. हालांकि लास्ट वीक्स या कपल ऑफ वीक्स में भी इसमें अच्छा सा मोमेंटम आ गया है. So what I would like to do is I would like to place myself couple of days back. Okay, example दे रहा हूं कि मान लेते हैं कि ये मेरा एक रेजिस्टेंस पॉइंट था. Okay, so let's say for an example this was my resistance point 190 levels approximately. I happened to get a strong rally in price followed by a base, and obviously this was the breakout candle over here. तो अज्यूम करते हैं कि अगर मुझे इस मोमेंटम कैंडल में पार्टिसिपेट करना है, सो व्हाट आर द पॉसिबल क्राइटेरियाज आई शुड लुक आउट फॉर, वेदर इट इज फ्रॉम द कोर स्ट्रेटेजी पर्सपेक्टिव और वेदर इट इज फ्रॉम अ कन्वेंशनल एंगल पर्सपेक्टिव. तो एक बार हम सारे सिनेरियोस को एक साथ में पुट अप करते हैं. सो लेट्स सी दिस. आई एम रिवाइंडिंग माय सेल्फ कपल ऑफ कैंडल्स बैक ऑन द डेली चार्ट्स. लेट्स से 1 2 3 4 5 days back, assuming we are live on this candle. So what are the important considerations first of all I should look out for? Number one is my broader time frame analysis. Number two, you can take a help of 20 simple moving average. Okay, so from our study section, you can use a 20 simple moving average and actually plot up this particular line over here and say and judge, are we trading very much comfortably above 20 simple moving average or not? So normally 20 simple moving average is sort of a conventional number that usually the retailers or the normal people in the stock market, they look out for momentum setups. Normal, ऐसा कोई हार्ड एंड फास्ट रूल नहीं है. आप कोई दूसरा नंबर भी ले सकते हैं, बट ज्यादातर 20 ऐसे में आपको एक बेटर पिक्चर देता है. इससे भी बेटर, इवन मोर रिलायबल, व्हाट आई डू इज आई प्रेफर टू यूज अ कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ Bollinger Bands. Okay, so what I do is when I apply this concept of Bollinger Band over here, this gives me even a better or an upper hand with respect to the stretchability limits on the bands, which means it actually tries and tells me how much more further room is there for the stock to outperform, to go or not. So what I do is I actually take the help of the three bands or the Bollinger Bands over here, and I mix it along with the concept of candlesticks on the chart. Okay, so let me say this. I'm going to hide some of the candles over here, and मान लेते हैं कि यहाँ पर आपका ब्रेकआउट हुआ है. ओके, सो लेट मी हाइड इट ओवर हियर लाइक दिस. ओके, यहाँ पर आपका लाइव कैंडल एग्जांपल, लाइव मूवमेंट ब्रेकआउट हुआ है. नाउ यू कैन अप्लाई दिस पर्टिकुलर कॉन्सेप्ट विद रिस्पेक्ट टू द MIT सेटअप्स आल्सो, WIT सेटअप्स आल्सो, DIT और इंट्राडे सेटअप्स आल्सो. द मेन इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग्स इज व्हाट आर द नेसेसरी थिंग्स दैट यू शुड लुक आउट फॉर. So the first thing is the broader time frames. I don't have any problem. I mean, this is just an example of 52-week high or a lifetime high breakout stocks. तो इसमें मुझे कोई भी प्रॉब्लम यहाँ पर हो नहीं रहा है. Okay, then what I do is, let's say for an example, I break it onto my hourly charts. So I go on to my hourly charts, let's say 30 days, 75, okay, and close. And whether it is 75 minutes or whether it is 125 minutes. Once the breakout has happened, once I don't see any obstructions on my broader time frames, then I can use a concept of an inside candle, which means I need to have a very strong candle followed by a base. जब इनसाइड कैंडल या कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ लेग एंड बेस हो जाता है एटलीस्ट मुझे एंट्री मिल जाता है ओके सो एंट्री शुड नेवर बी अ प्रॉब्लम फॉर मी आई शुड बी इन अ वेरी गुड sense to place some of my entries on the charts over here. So the very moment I get my entries, so let's say I place my entry somewhat over here. Okay, so entry is never a problem for me. Where am I supposed to place the stop loss? So the stop loss is always supposed to be placed below the leg candle. In this case, this is my breakout candle. So I'm going to place my stop loss somewhat over here. Okay, below this candle, and my target is relatively open. Okay, so first scenario, what I've explained to you over here is कि यहाँ पे कोई भी obstruction नहीं है. It's very easy for me to get hold of the inside candle, participate with the momentum, place a stop loss below my buying area or below my strong green candle, leg candle, और momentum आपका open होता है. Now this can go on for 2:1, 3:1, 4:1, etc., etc., etc. If you're as lucky as some of the PSUs have shot up in one day, like 8%, 9% in one day, then you can enjoy the rally also and carry forward the trades also. So ये concept हो जाता है हमारा entries and stop loss का. Now the question over here is this: what about the targets? So the targets normally, when you look out for intradays, you should be happy with 2:1s and 3:1s. I mean, it all depends on the market situation. Normally, when you're looking out for WID setups, 3:1s or higher are also very, very decent. Or in my next examples, what I'm going to show is opposing level of obstructions being created, which means if the stock tries and gives you some pressure candles on the chart. I'm talking about the execution time frame or intermediate time frame or a higher time frame, whatever. अब higher time frame के लिए monthly के लिए तो अब wait नहीं करने वाले हैं अगर WMIT setup है या weekly के लिए WID setup के लिए पूरा week के लिए wait तो नहीं करोगे. ज्यादातर execution time frames या daily charts is the best answer. So when you have this problematic situation on execution time frames that there are some price rejections happening on the chart or the chart has given up all the gains, I think you should book up your targets. You should not argue with the stock. इनफैक्ट जो भी आपका मोमेंटम था वो लूज आउट हो रहा है इसलिए आपको यहाँ पे बुक कर देना चाहिए. सो दिस फर्स्ट एग्जांपल इज अ वेरी सिंपल एग्जांपल फ्रॉम माय साइड एंड दिस इज अ कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ अ लाइफ टाइम हाई जिसमें हम अशोक लीलैंड डिस्कस करते हैं. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this example, let's say to Alchem Laboratories or Alchem over here. And this is the same example. Just 2 days back or couple of days back, I happened to explain this example in my XLT class also. Whether this stock is a worthy contender of me being momentum setup or a retracement setup. तो ध्यान से देखते हैं मल्टीपल टाइम फ्रेम एनालिसिस एक बार कर लेते हैं तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. एम मंथली चार्ट्स पे एम चार्ट्स पे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. डब्ल्यू चार्ट्स पे भी कोई वैसे तो प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. अल्टीमेटली दिस इज poised to touch 5500 eventually. The market allows us. And if I see this on the daily charts also, very good indications. If you see this, you have higher highs or higher bottoms actually on the cards. So इसका trend अच्छे तरीके से move हो रहा है. Now, actually, we were over here while I was taking this example, somewhat over here onto this small green candle, on this small green candle. And it was very clear, once this resistance is being taken out, this point is being taken out, then you can jump on the chart. Okay, ऐसा भी देख सकते हैं. Now, there are two sets of identities or students that we can come across. Number one would say probably कि higher bottom is on the card जिसमें momentum तो काफी अच्छा लग रहा है. And if you break this, even on closing basis बोलो या live basis बोलो, whatever it is, the very moment you start to dwell above this particular point, this pivotal point, I think there is a breakout in the stock. No doubt about it. Some set of students would also say, Behzad, that probably watch out for this hidden trap on the chart. There could be a pressure from this pivotal point. Third set of students might also say कि ये जो रिवर्सल आया है, ये जो pivotal point है आपका rally based drop और drop based drop, whatever it is, यहाँ से भी pressure आ सकता है. तो सवाल ये है कि ऐसे complex situation में pivot number 1 should be looked out for, pivot number 2 should be looked out for, or a higher pivot should be looked out for, or ultimately this should be looked out for. What are the answers? Because momentum तो अच्छा लग रहा है, 20 simple moving average की भी अच्छा ऊपर है, मीन के ऊपर है, ट्रेड करना शुरू कर दिया है, ग्रीन साइंस हायर बॉटम्स आना शुरू कर दिया है. तो भाई करें तो क्या करें? हाउ डू वी पार्टिसिपेट इन सच मोमेंटम सेटअप्स? Well, the answer to this is very, very simple. When you see that there are a lot of obstructions right in front of your charts or right in front of your targets or of your momentums, this is not a clear cut example of a momentum setup. कहीं ना तो कहीं आपके targets obstruct हो जाएंगे, कहीं ना तो कहीं आपके targets reduce हो जाएंगे. For example, मुझे नहीं पता था क्या ये पिवट चलेगा या ये पिवट चलेगा या ये सप्लाई से प्रेशर आएगा, मुझे नहीं पता है कि कौन सा पिवट यहाँ पर चलेगा. We don't know from where these obstructions are going to come from. And if you see the end result, I think this is the level at which the stock has started to experience some of the pressure. It looks like that way. Okay, so the momentum over here is absolutely not clear. Hence, in such circumstances, one should easily understand which ones should be treated as momentum setups and which ones should be treated as retracement setups. Okay, therefore, it's always advisable once the candle is closed or once the candle is completed, then you can break this particular candle onto a lower time frame, let's say 75 or 125, etc. Once you start to get some pending orders on the chart, for example, you have this authentic rally-based rally, the stock gave you a dip, and then it started to move up from here on. Okay, so अब ये बंद होता है, अब ये वापस हायर बॉटम बनाना शुरू कर रहा है 75 मिनट्स पे इंटरमीडिएट टाइम फ्रेम में, एंड देन आई थिंक इट्स जस्ट अ मैटर ऑफ टाइम दैट 50 to 24 शुड बी आल्सो टेकन आउट, एंड देन यू कंटिन्यू विद दैट, क्योंकि अब आपके पास कोई ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन बचा नहीं है. ये पिवट भी निकल चुका है, ये पिवट भी निकल चुका है, और 50 to 25 भी निकल जाएगा. Okay, so 75 then confirms you कि और ऊपर जाने वाला. So this is one good thing that you should be looking out for. Okay, so there was a difference in Ashok Leyland, which was trading at lifetime highs, and you wanted to jump, like some of the PSU stocks also. They broke the lifetime highs and they continued to go up. Second example है Alchem Laboratories का, जहां पे हम देख रहे हैं कि छोटे से cluttered area में how are we supposed to distinguish between your small momentum areas, or there could be some hidden traps that you feel कि वो चलेगा या नहीं चलेगा. That's a questionable area. Third example, what I want to also take you over here is this, the example of Dr. Reddy. Okay, now let's see this. This was an example of Dr. Reddy, which I discussed this in the class just a couple of days back in my XLTs. Now have a look at Dr. Reddy over here. What has happened? I'll very quickly do the MTF analysis, multiple time frame analysis. And my month is good. My week is pretty good over here. No problem on my week also. The daily time frames, if you see this, the momentum looks good, strong buying pressure. In fact, higher base ban chuka hai, higher bottom yahan pe ban raha hai. Okay, and we were over here. Frankly speaking, we were over here, and we wanted to jump with this MIT setup or WID setup, so-called the leg and the base candle over here. So look what has happened on my Dr. Reddy chart. In fact, अगर आप ध्यान से देखोगे, एंट्री में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. एंट्री मुझे मिल भी गया है, यू टर्न ले भी रहा है, और वापस एंट्री लेकर ऊपर जा भी रहा है. Let's say for an example, if you have jumped anywhere over here as a part of the momentum setup, see, entry is never a problem. Stop loss भी आपको यहाँ पे मिल रहा है. But now the stock is exhausted. Let's say for an example, the markets are down by 200 points. Then obviously most of the stocks are going to get hammered. कोई problems तो आपको मिलने वाले हैं ऐसे situation में. Therefore, in such circumstances, one should accept that this stock is giving me a lot of pain. In fact, the targets are restricted. My ordinance scores as far as the profits are concerned are really reduced now. Hence, one should accept that I should get out at break-even points or minor profits or minor losses or whatever it is. So don't argue with the stock. If the pressure has started to be seen on the chart, if the drops are supposed to be seen on the chart, or price rejections are supposed to be seen on the charts, फिर stock के साथ argue नहीं करना है. This is very clear that my area is a problematic area of 6400 levels or 6300 levels. Once this starts to take a U-turn and takes out 6400s or 6420s on closing basis, फिर momentum continue. So don't argue with the stock if the targets are reduced. So I've given you three scenarios. Scenario number one, all-time highs. Scenario number two, आपका profits आपके favor में कैसे जा रहा है, उसे कैसे manage करना है. And scenario number three, अगर आपका profits reduce हो रहा है, तो उस situation में आपको कैसे handle करना है. Okay, so that's it, friends. I hope this educational video has helped you. For more such educational ideas, stay tuned. Thanks a lot. I hope this is a good case for you. See you all the next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
This should not be treated as a recommendation. Please conduct your own analysis or consult a financial advisor before investing.